Hey, Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, I'm reading the paper.
Yeah, we're just hanging outside this very casual, very Parisian-like, city-like, urban-like cafe that just popped up
in Las Vegas.
in
here.
Las Vegas.
Right
In Las
inside of
Vegas.
Optech. Yeah.
And there's a puzzle here. And if you follow me and you do the weekly PropSec puzzle, you know that I'm a big puzzle freak. So make sure to follow my puzzle. You'll get a coffee. Not one of these, unfortunately. It's a digital one. But we've had some of the coffee. It's really good. It's really good.
I'm sorry. We're here with a special guest today.
Yeah, who are you with?
We're here with Margette. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm Margette Hepfner. I'm the president of housing for BILT, and as we're talking about Optech and our amazing pop-up behind us.
Yes, amazing.
I've been with BILT less than 4 months at this point, but this is my 20th Optech. So I've been in the industry a handful of years.
Yes.
Not your first rodeo.
Not my first rodeo.
Is this the first Optech that has had a cafe like this from a
To
company?
my knowledge, yes.
And final question on the coffee stuff.
All
What's
right.
your favorite? What's your coffee drink?
That's a really good question. So I'm typically a pretty simple person,
Yeah,
but I love an iced shaken espresso.
I'm a fan of that too. That's my jam. Yeah.
I feel like that could transition very nicely around 5 o'clock.
It could. I think you could add something
add it
to that.
If only they had that here in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I know.
we can get that.
Yeah,
can get
it's
that
right there. I
inside the
saw
cafe.
it. Did you see that? I know. We have a few questions asked first.
Just chill.
We're not just here to talk about coffee.
We're not. No, but
Crossword puzzles.
or puzzles. No,
Okay,
we want to
all
talk a little bit about Optech, a little bit about BILT. First of all, what have you noticed? Like, Optech's a little different this year. What have you noticed, and what are you personally excited about in the industry, and also what are you excited about for BILT?
It is. So Optech is a little different this year for those of you that don't know. And I think we've all been trying to figure out what is this RETC thing? What are these RETTC and what does it mean? And are we still associated with NMHC? And yes, all of those things. Optech is the perfect transition, call it the Reese's Pieces of operations and technology. And RETC has brought a little bit different perspective to it, because as we're developing technology in our businesses, as we're introducing more and more AI, there are more and more regulatory risks around all of the things that we're doing. So RETC is introducing an advocacy piece to truly separate some of the advocacy around just our general regulations and some of the boring stuff that I know you... But it's also some of the really important stuff.
Super important.
Maybe like dive down a little bit deeper into that. Like, why is it so important that there are both regulations, but very specific to benefit both renters, owners, operators, and the suppliers that are ultimately, fulfilling the needs?
Yep, absolutely. So technology is obviously a very important piece of everything that we do. And as we know with lawmakers, if we don't govern ourselves, there will be laws that are set to govern for us. So as we take a step back and you're talking about consumers, this is BILT's first time building this and really making a splash at Optech in the way that we are. And I think one of the unique things that we bring to the table is that we're positioning everything that we do to look through the lens of our collective customer, who is a renter. And I would argue that as an industry, we have not done a great job of focusing on our collective customer as the renter. We focused on our collective customer as the operator of apartments. And that is extremely important. But without the renter that lives in all of our homes, the real estate that we manage would not be generating any income. So if we're able to focus on the consumer and think about the consumer and eliminating those points of friction that we've all caused with a little bit of tech sprawl over the last cycle, 15 years, we focus on the consumer, we reduce friction for them, make it easier for them to do business with us. It actually reduces the friction for the on-site team.
Yeah.
And that seems to really be the topic of conversation here at Optech this year too.
Yeah, I would agree. And I like that you speak about the consumer and what you're kind of bringing in here. There's a lot of, it's just the transactional nature of all this, right?
Yeah.
The conversations. how is that consumer mindset? How is BILT using that going into the next year to try to impact the industry?
Yeah. So 80% of what our residents are doing is outside of their home, right? Outside of the four walls where they live. And we as an industry have been trying to win the engagement game and get our residents to engage more with our various apps that we roll out within the community itself. We throw resident events. And the truth is only about 20% of the things that they do fall inside that the four walls or inside that apartment community. But they're spending most of their time in the community surrounding that property. So and this is why we put the cafe here, it's bringing the neighborhood and meeting our renters where they are to help build that better sense of community that we've all been trying so hard to do for my 25 years in the industry for sure. And I would argue clearly for longer.
Yeah.
And bringing the community beyond the apartment community where they're living. So turning what has been a very transactional relationship into not just an emotional relationship, but more of a connected, holistic relationship where we are seeing renters engaging at the front of their Net Promoter Score when they sign their lease is here, and we want it to still be here when it's time for renewal. And that's not what we've seen as an industry, because we are a bit too transactional. Everything is just focused on that transaction.
Right.
BILT's flipping that around and changing it more into true engagement in the neighborhood.
Right.
Well, I can appreciate how BILT really works with the local community, and what you're trying to do is ultimately connect local businesses with renters that are already there, and it's sometimes difficult for them to get access. Why not connect them in a way that allows them to, spend their hard-earned dollars or points?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
At that
absolutely.
business.
And then, so for years, we've had our on-site teams, managers, leasing agents, who's ever really good at like that outreach marketing that we talk about. That's really important, but there's no way to track it. It is not digital. It is, hey, you own a dry cleaners and I'm going to come in and negotiate a discount for my residents in my community. And then guess what? You're not there when the resident comes in, or they forgot their punch card. And there's no way to track how engaged my residents are with your business. We've created this amazing ecosystem flywheel that is giving the merchants in our local neighborhoods access to and connecting them to the residents without ever sharing any personal information. So think about that for a second. Merchants, restaurants, fitness centers, you name it, they want to be connected to everyone that lives in their neighborhood. And how do they do it today? They buy email lists. They buy the utility list. They're buying information, and they're bombarding consumers with all of this information and, hey, come buy from me.
Right.
BILT's flipping that around and allowing the connection to happen more naturally when the consumer wants that connection to happen, and then when the merchant is actually ready for it as well. And it's building a better relationship between the apartment community, the merchants in the neighborhood, and then the most important person that this all revolves around, the renter.
Right. It's awesome. I mean, it's definitely, logically win-win-win. How, from this Optech, the conversations you've been hearing, what's encouraging you that this is the time for this product and this price? Yeah.
Such a good question. So are you guys familiar with NMHC? For years has done a renter preferences survey. They do it every other year. So as we're talking about it, I've been very involved with Optech and NMHC, and I'm pretty passionate about what those surveys look like and the kinds of questions that we're asking so that we're gathering the right information and making the right decisions for our renters. They've engaged a new company to do the survey this year. And a few of the stats from yesterday, he was talking about the 80% engagement outside of the home. So that's spot on with exactly what we've seen and what our partners have seen. And also on the transactional versus emotional. So we have been trying to turn this transactional relationship into an emotional relationship, which is actually, it shouldn't be emotional, right? It needs to be engaging and connected. And residents are not as concerned, believe it or not, this amenity arms race that we've been in for the last 15 plus years. Those things are important to some people, but it is honestly the overall customer service, the engagement, the connectiveness of reducing friction for the consumer and the on-site teams that seems to be the focus of conversation. So kind of perfect timing for us too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what else if you wanted to say something else about BILT, what's something that you get asked a lot that people don't understand, or what's something that people never ask you about?
Yeah. So my favorite question so far at Optech is, so do you guys build cafes and properties and that's what you do? I'm like, oh gosh. Well,
Hey,
I guess
If you had a nickel.
sure
we
you could-
actually could. You do have your retail space and all of your properties, but
I
no,
don't know
that
if
is
your
not what we
marketing team
do.
would be happy if you start
I'm not
selling
sure.
that.
Yeah, probably not. Probably that is way more involved. We do have a BILT cafe in New York City, so it's there. If you're ever there, come see it. There is also a very common misconception that we are a credit card. The truth is there is a BILT brand co-branded credit card. Only about 15% of our total members are BILT credit card holders. So I think that's the first misconception that I think is so important. You know, I've sat down with prospective partners, and if they think that we're a credit card, they latch onto that, and they are concerned with the debt cycle and what does that look like, and engaging in that. And that's not who we are, and that is not what we do. We are truly we're a consumer brand, but we are the largest commerce network that is connecting consumers with renters, and it's a continually growing ecosystem that we've built, and it's pretty exciting to be part of it. One of our partnerships, our pharmacy partnership, is probably one that I'm most excited about. That allows renters to connect their FSA, not just renters, any BILT member to connect their FSA card to their BILT wallet. And you can check out at the pharmacy, and your Snickers bar goes to your credit card, and your Band-Aids go to your FSA card, and it is literally instantaneous.
Yeah, okay.
and just that ultimately that reduces that friction.
It does.
You know, and instills the confidence that I can use this card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then one of the exciting things for next year, and we have fully launched an end-to-end leasing. So from discovery of finding your new home, filling out the application, all the way through engaging throughout your residency, and then signing your renewal, and then maybe even if you have maybe even moving out. Hey, I'm moving to another city, and I'm moving out of your property, but do you have any properties under this management company, under this partner in the new city that I'm moving to? So really helping to facilitate that entire life cycle in a way that no one else has been able to do, because you're a BILT member. And once you're a BILT member, you can be a BILT member forever, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what property you live in. There's not a CRM today that actually does that.
Right. That's really, really cool. Well, I mean, you definitely have built, this is our dad joke moment, you've built a community, a conversation, a splash here at Optech. Very cool. This is day 2. This place has been packed since the start of it, and there's still like people coming and lines forming and a lot of people talking about you guys. That's great. Yeah.
Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go. Let's go get a drink.
We're always ready for that.
Let's go get a drink. Softball question is, how did you get into multifamily? How did you get into this?
Oh, that's a good.
Oh gosh, that is a great question. I knew that my dad's in commercial real estate. He's a real estate appraiser and property tax consultant. So I spent my childhood growing up with him, doing appraisals, fell in love with real estate, and really at a young age realized and he would explain, right? So he's doing appraisals on 4 corners of a street and explaining why the same property built on those 4 corners could likely get different rent, right? And part of the art of real estate is knowing which corner to build on, and sometimes it's a gut instinct, right? So that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Location.
Location.
It is, right? So I knew I wanted to get into commercial real estate in some form or fashion. Straight out of college, wasn't quite sure where to go. I went to a job fair with my cousin for interview practice. Had no intention of interviewing with anyone, but just thought this will be a good thing to go to, right? I interviewed with a company called The Apartment Guide.
Yeah.
And it was a sales role of which I had absolutely no interest in. But again, interview practice. So I go to the interview and a little bit intrigued, but I'm highly competitive. And the waiting room was full of everyone else that was interviewing for the job that I was interviewing for. And I decided at that moment that I didn't care what it was, I was going to get the job. So that is actually how I got into the industry.
I love that.
Kevin Telfer, who is here, and Mike Parker are the two people that hired me into the industry. They're still in the industry.
Amazing.
And that, I mean, once you get into multifamily and you start making connections, and I really love multifamily because it's not as personal as being a residential real estate.
Right.
It's not quite as emotional, but it has a bit more of a human connection than being in commercial, office, industrial, something like that, right? Like it is just a really nice mix of people, relationships, real estate, buildings, all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, industrial, commercial, it's, here are your three options, choose.
Yeah.